Hi, this is Dean and Beck with Encompass Travel.
Welcome or welcome back.
And we wanted to talk about our voyage to uh, Margaritaville Islander at Sea and talk about how it's different, how it's better, whether or not you want to go on this particular cruise or not. So we want to talk about the Embarkation and how it's different from other cruises we've been on and the kind number of cruises and so forth that we've been on.
As far as the embarkation process, it was pretty easy. We pulled in. I'd already purchased our parking tickets to do the valet service, so we pulled in. They took our baggage and took our car, and off we were. We thought we were going to have to wait for a little while, but they pretty much took us right on in. Our embarkation time was at 11:30. And we were a little bit early, but they were very nice and they took us through. Normally, when we go to Port Canaveral or we've been to another port, apparently there's a lot more people and they put you through lines and all that. But this really was pretty smooth.
Yeah, the difference that I saw was that in the other ports we had a much larger bunch of people there, and that's probably because of the size of the vessel, as well as the way that they have it laid out. In this particular embarkation, we came in, we gave them our documents, and they scanned in our credit card, and that was about it. There was no real queue of different people to get in. Now, again, I think that's a lot of that is based on the size of this vessel. It is a much smaller ship than most of the large ships that are going out today. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You may want to try it because it is a smaller ship, and that will give you some idea. Do I like bigger ships or do I like smaller ships? We kind of it have liked in the past the smaller ships because they were more friendly or they didn't have as many lines. But by the same token, there's not as many things to do on board a smaller ship. Now, the when we talk about the cruises we've been on, we've actually been on three different cruise lines and not quite eight different ships, nine different cruises, but we went on one cruise twice. It was out of Charleston, and because it's so close to where we're at, about an hour and a half away, we went a second time. And we weren't real with the second time around. We weren't real impressed with that because they had some real issues there with people getting really hammered and drunk and stuff. Um,
Partying.
a lot of partying.
This was when we embarked too. This was not during
Right, right.
it already started.
And this was Carnival, which, as you know, is the fun cruise, right? And I think they're trying to cut back on the amount of fun that people are having, maybe, or make sure that the fun is more family friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been on this many cruises. So with Carnival and um, Royal Caribbean. And what else? Did we go on another cruise line?
No, just in
Oh, that was
Margaritaville.
I'm Margaritaville at Sea. So there's three that we've been on thus far.
And 8 cruises or 9 cruises is not a lot of cruises for people who cruise all the time. They have hundreds of cruises. But for us, having grown up with our kids were growing up and in high school and families, we went as often as we could. And we're very, we like that we've been on this many cruises.
Now that we're older, we may or may not go on more cruises. We want to travel, but I don't know if cruises are going to be the best thing for us. But again, we'll see. Uh, from the perspective of the Islander at Sea, though, when we went into our room, and I'll show you some video of that, you'll see as we're talking the video of going into the room, and it's really a really nice theme. It's themed everything about the ship is themed about Jimmy Buffett.
And the
And
islands and the island theme.
right, and all of his songs are represented in everything about the ship. So if you don't like Jimmy Buffett, then you might not want to go on the ship. But I don't know anybody that doesn't like Jimmy Buffett.
Um,
But
yeah.
it is a very nice. The room was very nice. It was about the same size as other rooms we've been in, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. The balcony was, it was a very nice balcony, for us, for the 2 of us, and the colors were nice. It of course, is a little bit older, cruise ship, but everything was tastefully done, very cute. Some of the things were really cute. Um,
Yeah, they had that the pillow on the bed, and then they had above the TV, it said, "License to chill, and I believe I will," which was kinda cute.
mhm.
But they did have a lot of, special pieces to it to kinda make you feel more in the island vibe, which I thought was nice.
And this just carried throughout the ship.
It
I
did,
mean, you'll
and you'll
see
yeah.
video that we have of the just really great lounges and all the colors in the ship and the themes in the pools and all of that.
So one of the things that we both kind of missed was the kind of amenities you get on the new ships. That is, it's a little more technologically advanced. And one of the things that we immediately noticed was, where can I see my bill? Right. In most of the new ships, you can tune into a channel and see your portfolio, much as you do in a hotel. Right. In Margaritaville, they haven't quite got there yet. It's more retro. That you can't see your bill on the TV, and it is kind of a retro experience in the Islander, which is in some ways not bad. In some ways, it's a little frustrating.
The television does not have a guide. It's just channels, and they're like 44, and you just go through, and I guess when you first get there, familiarize yourself with which channels. And they have some interesting channels. They got movie channels, and they've got some CNN and news channels and sports channels and cartoons for the kids, but you just click through. And the other channels are the concerts that Jimmy Buffett did and things about the safety drill.
Yeah, there were mostly actually when we went through the channel guide, there were like 20 channels of the safety drill. So I'm not sure that they had a lot of content. So if you're bringing your children with you, you're going to have limited content on the TV. But then again, if you're on a cruise, are you really there to watch TV?
Yeah, and they have the kids programs too. They have the really good kids programs, so probably won't have to worry about that with the children. The difference, one of the things that we noticed was the Finn dining room and the Islander dining room, and we read, listened to video, watched video about it, but we couldn't figure out what the difference is. And the only thing that we could figure out was that the Islander dining room has a little bit different theme and tablecloths. And so it was a little bit more elegant than the Fin, but you could get the same wonderful dishes there, the special dishes. And you could, at either restaurant, you could order off the menu and pay extra for steak, lobster, and things like that.
Yeah, and I think all of the extras that were available each night were in both dining rooms. So there was really no difference from that perspective. If you wanted to buy off the, a la carte menu and buy something that was not supplied as part of the menu that comes with the trip, you could buy the same thing in either one of those dining rooms. So I didn't see a whole lot of difference between the two. Now, from the standpoint of the food is great, and we'll get to that more in just a few minutes.
I did want to mention one thing is if you're eating in the dining area, the buffet on deck 9, they had many areas to go through, and they had the pizza and things like that. But at night, your dinner in the Finn or the Islander could be had
in the port of
in
indecision,
short of indecision.
right? Which was the buffet,
Buffet.
port of indecision.
Yeah.
I like that name. I
Yeah.
think that's a good name.
Because I could never decide what I
Yes,
want to eat.
that's true. So, we'll talk more about about how good how the meals were
Yes.
as we go on.
The Cuban croquettes, they had a white sauce, really, really delicious, and and the nochi had a kind of a and the nochi had this kind of I don't know curry type sauce, but it didn't overwhelm the nochi. You could still taste the nochi, so it was really good. Um, we've eaten on a lot of cruises, and some are better than others. I think the food here is actually pretty good.
So, we also went to the casino. Right? So our first full day at sea, we decided we'd go to the casino and kind of mess around a little bit. And so we noticed we were like in most of the bigger, like Royal Caribbean and Carnival, you use your stateroom card to charge against for the casino. You just put your stateroom card in, and it charges your card for whatever you want to spend. In the Islander, and I would presume on the other Margaritaville at sea ship, Paradise though, the casino wants you to insert cash, and which I personally, I'm kind of torn on that because I like the convenience of being able to put my card in and put more cash on automatically, or put more cash on because I asked for it. But by the same token, it's harder for you to overspend in the casino if you have to put in cash, right? So there's a value to that, but all in all, I'd rather have. I don't like carrying around cash because I don't like to carry around cash. So it's better that it would be on the card, but that's just a little difference in the casino. There's also while we were playing up slots,
We were offered free drinks, and I said, well, I'm not a reward card holder. And they said, well, you get 4 drinks while you're playing.
and one thing we meant to mention about the cabin is that it had USB plugs on the lamps, and that was kind of important for us because we had a lot of things that we plug in. We were making videos, and so we had our cameras, phones hooked up, and we had our other equipment hooked up to the USB. So there were plenty of USB connections, which I was pretty pleased with.
We brought an adapter, the plug-in. Or are you talking about?
What is an adaptive plug-in?
I bought it from Amazon. You'll see it on Grounded Life Travel. Showed us the things that they have, and it's a square plug. It plugs in under the mirror on the Islander, and it has several USB ports.
Oh, okay.
And it has a plug-in for other things. You don't need a plug-in for the hair dryer. It's in the drawer. It's already plugged in. So.
But that points out a good and interesting experience that we had during that first day. We were waiting on our bags to get there, and my bag showed up. Beth's, however, did not. So I went down to our cabin steward, and I asked him, and he said, "Well, her bag had been quarantined and that it was down in security, and we had to go with him down to security." So we went down to security. We stood around. Apparently there were several other people there.
Our lone passengers apparently had their bags confiscated as well.
And they opened the bag and didn't find anything that they should worry about, so they gave us the bag anyway. So we joked about it. We were not terrorists. We're not making any kind of security issue. As far as we could tell, we were no threat to society, but hey,
So
whatever.
all of the ladies' fellow travelers had scissors in their baggage, and one woman's husband had his scissors because he treats trims his hair. And she said she would trim it for him somehow, probably fingernail.
I think he just decided that it was just better not to worry about it while he was on a week-long, cruise. So,
That's right.
you want to talk a little bit about the room service, honey?
Yes. I decided that we would do room service the next morning. So they give you the room service tag to hang out. I guess I was a little bit confused about how to order. I ordered what was that I ordered? It was sausage and
Yeah, I think it was,
sausage croissant or something. And I ordered it because I knew he would like the sausage croissant, and I wanted some avocado toast. And so I ordered that. It was either an English muffin or croissant or something like that. I ordered the one with the sausage, and then I ordered the one with the egg and the avocado and that. And then I think I ordered some muffins because usually they just give you one muffin. And I ordered some fruit and stuff like that.
So the upshot was we had this big stack of food that the guy brought
He
in,
made
right?
fun of us too. It was very jokingly. He was so cute. He made fun of us about us being hungry. But what it was that
Beth didn't know how to order.
I don't know how to order, so we didn't do that again. It was all very good, though.
And to go back just a moment to our embarkation, one tip that I wanted to give you, and I think this is a very good tip, and we personally have not always done this, but I think it's a really good tip, is if you don't want to stand in lines, come later in the afternoon, right? Before it's going off, before the last, obviously before the last hour that you can get in on the ship, but after all of the times of embarkation. And the reason I say that is that tip allows you to just walk right on. They take you in and you go through and you don't have to stand in lines at all, right? And that's good in Margaritaville at sea. It's good in Royal Caribbean. It's good in Carnival because everybody tries to come to the ship as early as possible because they want to get on and they want to start swimming and they want to start having their day at sea and everything. They want to start having their vacation. And so they come early, and so you have these huge lines. So the later you can come, the better off you are and the easier it is to get on. So that's a pro tip that I heard from another YouTuber, which I thought was pretty good. So what did we think about the dining?
The food was good. The desserts were beautiful, as you'll see in some of our videos, but we're from the South and we drink sweet tea, and I want my desserts to be sweet. And they were beautiful, but very, very lightly sweetened. And I understand that. It was just be aware that it's not going to be very sweet. Now, ice cream is ice cream.
Well, and I have to say that the cakes and the sweets that we are, like she was saying, that we normally would want sweeter, they are the same kind of desserts and sweets that you're going to get in every single cruise. They are all exactly alike.
Notice that.
And I believe it's because it comes from a European perspective not to put more sweetener into these desserts than needed, right? Because they want to emphasize the taste that they built into the dessert.
I will say that in the dining rooms, the desserts are a little bit different and they were rather decadent. So I did enjoy those. You'll see some of the most wonderful desserts, and the textures and the taste are just really good.
Well, now I have to say that the cakes that they had in the dining room, I mean in the buffet, the port of indecision, were absolutely fantastic too. They had some really delicious cakes that they made, and you could go and get slices of them. So that was pretty good. And we'll have some, again, we'll show you some pictures of that as well. The food quality in general, I have to say, was really, really good. It was well done. Everything had a really good taste to it.
The presentation was wonderful.
Presentation was wonderful.
Mhm.
So really the food was kind of a highlight of this trip for us.
Mhm. I will mention one thing. In past cruises, we have taken an hour or chosen our eating time, the dining time. There is no dining time on this, and I imagine because it is a smaller cruise, but there is no dining time. So you did have to wait in line some, but not a lot. And I missed that a little bit because you're not assigned a table. Before I have a friend, my friend Rose. We met her and her husband in 2009 on a cruise, and I have not seen her in person since that time. But we have been friends on Facebook and email since 2009. So for the last 16 years, I have known this wonderful lady I met on my cruise. I didn't meet anybody. We didn't meet anybody at our table. Now, I assumed that you could ask for a table or ask for a server, but they did not assign you a time and they did not assign you a table to be. And so you didn't get to know your wait staff and you didn't get to meet other people from different places.
Yeah,
And that's something that was different. I don't know if I mind it, but it was different than the cruises we've been on before.
well, the cruises again, that whole idea of being assigned a table to eat at, we would normally have 6 to 8 people at a table, and we would talk and kind of sit around and eat our dinner and talk a little bit, and we'd get to know each other. And that was a socializing event, and it was kind of nice. But yes, I don't think in the Islander you have any ability to have an assigned table because there really is no assigning of the tables. You just get whatever's there at the time, right? So
And that may be part of the theme of the ship.
right,
That
casual.
freestyle.
Yeah, it's kind of a casual, and that's the other thing is that in the other cruises we've been on, you would have this formal night in the dining room,
Puppy break.
puppy break,
Puppy break, puppy break, puppy break. It's a puppy break. Said, hello, Biggs. This is Biggs.
and this is Emma. So
Mhm.
in the dining experiences that we had on the other cruises, one of the differences was that while we were in an assigned table, we would also know our waiter and wait staff, and at the end of the cruise, we would actually have they would come out and do this whole dance and all that.
Well,
Didn't have any of that on the hour.
no.
And now I did notice that they would come out if it was your birthday and sing happy birthday to someone, but that was the only exceptionalism as far as the dining room was concerned that we really saw. And so I wanted to show you when we talk about our the TV not having the itinerary. One of the things that we missed was the ability to have an on-screen map of where we were at any given moment. So in other cruise lines like Royal Caribbean, you can tune into a channel and you can see where you're at as far as the ship's position and how long it was to the next port. And so we really didn't have that. The only thing we really did have was this Islander checklist and paper where you can see all of the different activities and the places to go and all that sort of thing. This is very retro, right? Our experience on other cruise lines since we started has been primarily towards the electronic, right? So we had a lot less of this printed material to look at and more of the electronic material, which is actually good because you could bring it with you in your phone. And while you're out in the ship, you could actually refer to it and say, oh, wait a minute, there's a wine tasting in
Or bingo.
20 minutes or bingo or whatever,
Ship
right?
starts at
Yeah,
7:30.
exactly. And so that was just one of the things that kind of got, we were not as happy with the Islander on that perspective. But I have to say that across our experience, during the week we were in the Islander. We enjoyed our time there. We were very, we were very relaxed. Took naps, and some of that was because Beth had some issues that required a medical visit.
Never have I visited medical.
Not in the whole time we've been traveling on cruises have we had to go, either one of us have had to go to medical. This time was the first time that we've ever had to go to medical, and Beth was really not feeling well. And so we didn't do a lot in the last couple of days of the cruise. We just kind of hung out and we really, tried to chill. And there's a value to that too, right? Is being able to just chill out. But and I did deposit her there and go off to the casino for a little while myself where I could lose more money. But now one of the things that we did see while we were on the island, we saw several couples
Well, it's couples and groups.
in groups.
Throughout the cruise, we would see groups and couples or families. I'm thinking it may have been like a family reunion or group from somewhere, and they would have on T-shirts with their names or family names. Some of them would have logos for their YouTube channels. There was a group there that everybody, women, men, everybody had on the same Hawaiian type shirt with their information on it, which sparked us to think, gosh, that would be fun to do, is to have matching shirts to go walking around, do your excursions or whatever, but that would be a fun thing to do. So I kind of like that idea.
And it's also a marketing issue that we could put our YouTube channel on the front of it, the logos, and maybe have some magnets that we can give away to spur some interest in the channel. It's always, because YouTube really, it's about marketing as well as informational. So, we really enjoyed our trip, and so this was all about our first day on board the Embarkation, our
And the
first
overall experiences.
and how we got there and how much it cost us. We're going to go over, how much it would cost us in the next video, because we didn't really talk about that here. But in the next video, we'll go over how much the cruise cost us and how much the medical cost us. So you might want to tune in for the next video to see, more about the costs and more about our trip to Key West, because that was fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, those are some good.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, and we'll travel with you later.
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. It really helps our channel. And if you enjoyed this and would like to see more and be notified, please subscribe and also share this with your friends. See you later.